Okay, good morning. So I have been doing Buddhist book read alouds, and then I stopped doing them. So that's why I haven't done them in a little while. And the reason I stopped doing them was because I joined up a group of fellow Buddhist seekers, I suppose, fellow people interested in Buddhism, um, who are following, we are all following. Some instructions from a lama who has been posting instructions online on how to, well, what is Buddhism? What is it all about? And how to follow the spiritual path according to Buddhism. And so I've been doing that instead. And it's been taking up my time. And there's a book that we're following, that we're reading through. And it's not a modern book, it is a recent translation of very old text that I think was written in about 100 years ago. Um, and then it is written down from oral teachings that go back like a couple thousand years, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. That an oral tradition can last so long until it gets written down. So I'm really enjoying that. And I do want to get back into reading aloud Buddhist books, um, because I think it's very interesting and I think it has a lot of good. Um, all right. So that's about it. um, right now, I'm doing some reflections or some contemplations on different uh, realms, they're called, um, realms of existence, possible realms of existence. And this is where it gets tricky, right? Because we're looking at a religion that merged with other religions for a little while. Tibetan Buddhism is a mix of worldviews, right? The Buddhist worldview from India made it to Tibet and was combined with the not, well, with what spiritual beliefs were already there. And then that was handed down in oral traditions all the way until pretty much now. And science, as we know it, developed separately. Um, and then sometimes Buddhism talks about different realms of existence, like that there are such things as hell beings and deprived spirits and things like that. They also list animals as another realm of existence, like ways to be reborn. And if you don't believe in karma and you don't believe in rebirth and reincarnation, then these realms of existence are kind of difficult to put into, to meld with the framework of Western science as we know it. And the thing is that Western science as we know it is still an evolving thing. And none of us lay people, Westerners, are actual Western scientists. So we don't really even know what science has to say about things, right? We have to trust the scientists to communicate to us. And yet, we don't even understand what they're saying. So, in a way, it's like trying to blend two different religions together. Neither one has like the last word. Neither one can claim to be the whole truth, right? So I'm grappling with that. I'm grappling a little bit with that worldview of scientism that's ingrained in me from my education. And I'm trying to keep a very open mind and look at these things as what ifs. What if I was born into a situation where it was hellish? And have there been times in my life where I have been in a hell realm? And I have to say yes to these things. I have to say yes. There were aspects of my experience in the past that actually felt like hell. Come in. Sorry for the interruption. My son came in to show me his eye. Isn't that cute? His eye has been bothering him. He's had like a bloodshot eye for a couple of weeks. And we just started using some eye drops for him, and it's making a difference. And he is excited to show me that it's working. Isn't it? It's that's adorable. All right. So let's continue with um, times in my life that I felt like I was in hell or that I was experiencing unending, how they describe it in Buddhism in the chapter that I read was unending cold or heat. So I'm thinking that means physical pain. And there are times in my life where my emotional pain was so overwhelming that it was actually felt in my body as physical pain. And those times were just before my divorce, um, a couple of times in my childhood too, where I really felt like I was in hell, you know? And as a child, I don't think there's much that one can do except just um, kind of deal with it. I do remember learning to dissociate, and I remember feeling angry, enraged at the powerlessness of being in that kind of state where I was utterly trapped and I couldn't make a change. And I simply had to endure. And would I have been able to hear the Dharma and understand and practice a spiritual life under those circumstances? No, I really would not have been able to. And then again, in my first marriage that ended in divorce, that decision was so terrible and so difficult and uh, confused. I was confused. I was lied to. I was betrayed. Um, I was robbed. I was victimized in many different ways by those who were supposed to be helping me uh, get out of that marriage. Uh, it was very difficult. And then the whole learning to draw the line, where I had promised, to be married forever, and I um, changed my mind for good reasons, but I still had to recognize where my limits were and where my boundaries were, and that my promise wasn't all encompassing after all. Like, I couldn't simply continue no matter what for the sake of continuing, right? And, I learned a lot about myself, but there were moments in there where I felt utterly trapped and again, utterly helpless. And all I could do was endure from moment to moment. the physical pain of the psychological pain that was just more than I could bear, you know? So those are my views so far. I'm still thinking about it. It's hard to think about, but um, I think I have more writing and more journaling to do. I know that I had journaled during that whole process, and I have those pages. And sometimes, in carrying those pages from place to place, I would drop the binder and the pages would fly all over the place. And then I would just scoop them all back together without rereading them or putting them in order. So they're like, it's a mess, a binder of mess that I have from that time. And I've always wanted to write a book about it or turn it into a novel. Uh, but it's not easy. I haven't been able to look at it again and put it in order and reread the words, you know. I haven't been able to, but it is one of my projects. It is one of my projects. I already did it for my adolescence. I looked through I actually reread my diary, my diaries from my adolescence. And even though it was painful to read, um, it confirmed a lot of things for me. Um, that it wasn't just my memories, but like things really happened the way I remember them. So my memories are pretty accurate. Um, but now it's time. It's time. Nah, in September when the kids go back to school, it will be time for me to delve into the end of my first marriage journals and see what that teaches me about myself. Myself then, you know, um, because I have grown a lot and I've left that self behind um, for the most part. I have grown and I'm no longer that person. But there's still stuff there. There's still stuff there that stings. So there's still stuff to look at. Okay, that's it for now. Um, yeah, so I'm going to be posting videos more rarely, more infrequently, um, because the work that goes into making them is more careful and more researched. So these are less think alouds. They're more like think alouds at the end of a lot of journaling. So I've already done my thinking aloud on paper, and you're getting the sum of it, the summation, the short version. Can you imagine? This is the short version. Okay. So that's it for now, and I'll tell you more in a little while. And I hope that um, you're having a day. All right. Take care now.